Sergio Studios. Extra.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sergio Dominguez with another art look through. Now, in the previous video, I did do a look through of not only the Sergio show, but my previous Sergio Studios cartoons that that are not the Sergio show. I've shown a number of them in that video, but I left out one specific cartoon because that does deserve its own video, and that is Cinema Tour. Okay, here's the reason why. This kind of project was in development for quite a while, about 3 to 5 years, and it's inspired by something I really love, which is, obviously animation, but also theme park rides. So it was a very precise video and cartoon to make, and it did require some very interesting art and a lot of developing and concepts, and got a lot more different kinds of artwork to show you from that very specific cartoon. Very proud of it, and I can't wait to show it to you right now. So yeah, I wanted to make a cartoon that was not only theme park ride inspired, especially motion simulators, which is the type of ride where you're on a vehicle that's connected to some kind of moving mechanism, but stays in place. Maybe it's on wheels, depends on what ride, and it's in front of a giant screen. And it moves along to the screen. That's my favorite kind of theme park ride. So I wanted to make a video that's like that. And I've been developing it for about 3 to 5 years. Now, this was the name. This was the original name for it. Studio Tour the Ride. I tried to check on YouTube if anyone took the name. Kind of similar, but not really. But throughout development, it was a working title. I ended up changing it to Cinema Tour by the time official production maybe started. Yeah, by the time I was finishing the script and recording, it was going to be changed from Studio Tour the Ride to Studio Tour to Cinema Tour. Len. Originally, his name was Kenneth, but I like to name my cartoons, especially more original cartoons, out of words that are not normal human words. To make them more unique and original, have their names be not human names. So have it be something else. I want it to be a one-syllable word, so I went from Kenneth to Len. And when I was designing him, I want him to be a little bit more realistic, and still have some cartoony features, and do something that I don't usually do when I design my characters. That is, not give him an outline, which works in his form of animation because this cartoon was going to have 2 different forms of animation, maybe 3, but mostly 2: keyframe puppet animation and stop motion, which we'll get to pretty soon. And in this case, this kind of design would work for this kind of style. Now, while I was developing, I would make a list of what you usually expect in a theme park attraction, a theme park ride. What is the theme? What do you experience that you don't get to really experience in real life, that you can only see in the movies? And, here's the typical list. You would see sharks, dinosaurs, aliens, robot, magic animals, cartoons, other kinds of animals, all that stuff. So I make a list, and I had a work in progress. I think this was different. Made this back in 2016. This plot summary. Yeah, this was a work in progress in terms of story, because I was like, okay, I want it to be through a studio, but what are the characters going to be in the studio? The main character will be not only the tour guide, but the audience, since this is set like a motion simulator, and they're always fixated on 2 things. One being only one point of view, and it being a whole continuous shot. So it is, that's the thing. You see those kinds of YouTube videos, and you also see in theme park rides that they have to set it to like you're viewing it. So it's always your perspective in one simultaneous shot in real time. So that's always the creative challenge with theme park rides. So So here are designs of some characters. At first, when I was designing them, they were going to be fairly simple, like a simple creature, typical shark or dinosaur. But later on, as I would develop these characters, I need them to be more unique, more outrageous. You know, something that you would see out of a cheap blockbuster movie, kind of thing. I don't know if I can legally show that. Yeah, at some point I had to deviate it, but I wanted to start off simple with, shark, dinosaur, and alien, and then alter them to whatever pieces and try to make them unique because everybody has designed their own alternate version of a dinosaur, alien, shark. They're fun to do. And in this case, it was within a movie. It's like this was like big props coming to life to attack you for some reason. This is a good one. All these concept art sketches, story sketches. The alien was like the trickiest one to design, but because aliens would long neck or tentacles or claws, but then when you're designing them three-dimensionally, which we'll get to, it would be difficult. Now, even this vehicle, I still want to design the vehicle even though you don't really get to see it. You kind of see something like this in the pre-show that I made, but I still want to make a vehicle to make it look believable that I'm really designing a theme park attraction. So I did draw the vehicle just for the fun of it and to imagine where would the tour guide be, and if the person is represented through the camera that was being animated, how would it look like? So I did design a couple of vehicles for the fun of it. Another challenge that I was facing is also perspective and also the framework of it. Like this is an accurate 16 by 9 frame, video camera frame. The horizon line, the midpoint. There was a lot of things to really think about. The distance, if you can see, it says characters, monsters. So I was gonna figure it out, this whole part, with not only this but something else I'm gonna show you later. Yeah. Another concept art would be the beginning. You would go through a tunnel, and after the tunnel, you would see these props originally, but ultimately you won't for some magical reason. Another example, because in the story, each monster would pop out in a very special way. One would be from the ground, one would be from the wall a couple of times, but the side and the back. So fun ways. This is them showing down. This is like the rough drawing of the climax. I like this one, which ended up being in the final cut, where I want one of the characters to get a box and Yum. 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 That was good. That was very good. And it came out well in the final cut. Me setting up how each would appear. One would be through a storage. This one would be a cheap space set. Boom. Yeah, I had to design it less like what the thing was inspired, but we'll get to it. Very nice. Try to draw in blue pencil to be a setting, and this to be a pencil outline, regular pencil outline for the alien, just to like differentiate them both. This would be, the area where you see the sign, maybe a spotlight. It would come out of there. Everything falls apart, and that spotlight never made it. Another thing, since, again, I wanted to treat it a little bit more seriously, like it was not just a short, but a theme park attraction. So what I would try to actually create a blueprint and a trail of what how the theme park ride would move. Because people who develop theme park ride attractions would actually develop a blueprint map of like, okay, the vehicle starts here, then it goes around here and here and here. So the builders have a way to build this and how it's going to go through. So that's how far as I went. But even then, when I was ultimately animating and when it was done, I actually followed the path of the final cut of the cartoon, and it was unrealistic. It was unrealistic. It would only be a motion simulator. It wouldn't be believable enough to build it in a building with the directions and places it was going. But yeah, me trying also different concepts. Like this didn't make it, but it would go upstairs and it would be rumbling and shaking. But some attractions have that effect. The vehicle moves on it like that. Also, these three monsters. Yeah, it's hard to see. These three monsters attacking the vehicle. I drew it again because I think it was a little bit too light, too out of it. Yeah, this didn't make it. I thought it would be a fun idea to do it like this, so when you get the perspective, you see the monster die in front of you. But I think because of time and budgeting, well, not budgeting, I did this with no budget, but with time and the limitations I had to simplify it. Another nice concept drawing. The character and tour guide getting shocked of this. Very good. Yeah. I thought since all the props come to life, maybe the weapons props do too. So he went to the prop room and that happened. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I hope theme park fans like this video and the short and this. Well, I'll try to bite into it. Because I want to have a moment where it's interacting, because we're dealing with two different kinds of animation. Excuse me. So yeah, I wanted to have a moment where the character was interacting with the main character. So because they're two different kinds of animation, so I wanted to interact a little bit. And you get that in the scene with the alien, just grabbing the vehicle, and there's a little struggle. So there would be that moment of them interacting. Which is funny to see two things from different forms of animation interact with each other. Even as simple as that. I didn't want to cause any damage. Yeah, this would be kind of like... Boom! And a lot of theme park attractions, they have a moment where the vehicle falls. So when it booms, it would take us up in the air and we would land. Yeah, this is up in the air. Originally airbag, but it would just land. I couldn't find a way to have anything like save it, so I'm just imagining that the vehicle itself just like landed safely enough for the guests. Like the bumper was strong enough. For the vehicle safe enough. Is everybody alright? Studio tour the ride. Another one. I drew some promotional art. Yeah, I had like a yellow legal pad notebook that I would just want to use, and I feel like it's good to use it here for fun. Yeah, I thought the title was maybe too simple, but I like Studio Tour the Ride title, but Cinema Tour sounds more fun. The end. For this booklet, actually, because I do have a couple more artwork to show you. I'm even going to show you, let's see. this is going to be brief, what I'm going to show you, because these are actual rough storyboards of Cinema Tour. Yeah. Because these are actually storyboard frames to Cinema Tour. But what I did at one point in production was make a little rough animatic. And the animatic you can see on my channel. You know, the animatic for this was already done after I did the short, because it was when I was in development, I didn't do an animatic, but I did do storyboards. Just to get the visuals out of my head and see if the story can come together. But not in animatic form, just up to storyboards. So I'm going to do a quick flip through both of these. If you want to see each of them a lot closer, you can see the animatic for Cinema Tour that's in this channel that you're watching. Sergio Studios Extra. Also audio commentary and some more behind the scenes features, I guess. Yeah, these are all just quick thumbnail doodles. And again, I had these kinds of notebooks lying around, and I was like, let me use these. So I took these, just put them under like a webcam, and just took a picture of them, each of them very quickly, and just made a little like flip book and see how it looks. Again, if you want to see these better, check out the Animatic. I got even better artwork to show you. This was deleted because, like I said before earlier, this is the 16:9 aspect ratio rectangle, and I was trying to figure out how to really stage everything. But while I was developing it, I realized. So I made these frames, I printed them out, tried different colors. I was going to draw things on these as for examples and for staging, but while I was developing it digitally, I realized I didn't really need these. When I storyboarded it, like you saw, and while I was doing some test animation on the camera movements in Toon Boom, using perspective and moving the digital camera in Toon Boom, I was like, oh, okay. And here's another example that didn't make it. This is a big rectangle in the 16:9 aspect ratio. Yeah, same thing but different color. Yep. Now let's see. Ooh, this one. The Art of Cinema Tour. Now, once I was done with the notebook and I was getting finally deeper into production, I did get an extra sketchbook. I bought a couple of cheap sketchbooks, and I have them lying around, or well, saved. And I would take one and be like, that's going to be the sketchbook for the art of the production of whatever cartoon I'm doing. Like this. The Art of Cinema Tour. This notebook started here and ended here. Yeah, but this is some good paper for the money. It was still called Studio Tour. Yeah. I was trying to just space these out, but it came out like that. But, you know, nice rough promotional art. Again, trying to develop that alien. Yeah, that alien had the most revisions. Again, me trying to figure out that perspective. And I was also deciding on, should this be in the shot, the whole dashboard. The whole dashboard wheel and buttons. While you see Len, you see this, but I'm scared this was going to cut off the aspect ratio in camera view, and it might be in the way. I might have to animate things around it. So while I was setting the character up, I was like, no, this isn't needed because there's not really that much use to it. So this existed, but off camera. So you can get more of the experience of the ride. I was also mapping out this one trick I wanted to do where the vehicle was moving sideways. So I have to do a trick in stop motion where I would get a webcam and rig it in a special way so it can be sideways. For that to work, I took two flat toy cars hot glued them to a foam board, a little foam board, and then hot glued a 1/4 screw, and that would screw in either a camera, or later on I would use my cell phone. But I used different cameras for the stop motion of that cartoon. I think I talk about it in my commentary. But yeah, I was trying to figure out what camera, while in production, figure out which camera is good for the stop motion, the video quality for the video. Ultimately, it was my phone, but I tried camcorder, I tried webcam, I tried one more camera. But ultimately, yeah, just use your cell phone. Yeah, that would be the start. Then you would go through a hallway, a simple hallway. I want to start off simple, then it would go to this effect. Again, the destroyed display, and you're just going sideways in a curve while the vehicle's turning. That was an interesting effect that I'm glad that I figured out, and it came out surprisingly well. Me just starting to figure out the direction it was going to go and how it was going to go for one section. Again, it would go from here to here. I was trying to really take this seriously and just imagine. I'm a Imagineer and see how this whole, not short, but attraction would work. And see if this could be done in a building. But ultimately, when I was done with the cartoon, like I said, it wouldn't be possible. It could only be motion simulator. But that's fine. I'm glad I made all these sketches, hypothetical sketches. So it gives the area that you're in depth. And while I was working on it, I would do artwork. Give the studio, because the studio is based on a studio that I made for another short, because every cartoon I make, including the show, takes place in one whole universe. So they share certain things back and forth. The exit. This is a funny scene where I found an exit, but it's fake, and they go backwards. This is a nice showdown room. I had writer's block when it came to the showdown room, the climax of the cartoon. But and I had to be sure that it would start and end in the same place, so that was fun to see the doors that you're in front of when you start and end. That's very true to classic cartoon. And this is my rough drawing blueprints of what the special camera rig would be. Like I said before. But yeah, it was barely this. Nice hypothetical blueprint concept. Goes here, then here, then here, and here, and here. You see this and prop 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I tried, but it looks nice. Now I was developing the weapons practical effects room. Yeah, before and after, but like, boom, booms in. If you've seen the cartoon, you don't understand. Again with this. Yep. Ooh, here we are. We're in the part where I'm trying to change the name, because I want to change it. Studio tour, too obvious. Maybe something else. Cinematic tour. Cinematic tour ride. And I was like, ultimately I took out the word ride, because it wasn't really a ride. It was just a cartoon. So I took out ride and just made it cinematic tour. I think the name was taken, I guess. That alien. Cinematic tour. But it was fun drawing this cinematic tour again. Trying to also design the logo and the design of the title. Len, nice to see you again, buddy. At the time, I think at this time in production, I finished episode 150 of the Sergio show, and it was like, I need a break from the show. Let me do a cartoon. And that's what this was. This part of production. Because yeah, there are moments when I work on the show, I'm like, oh, I'm tired. Let me do a short, and then I'll come back to it. I'll miss it and come back to it. That's always been the cycle. If you've heard my audio commentaries and even through these videos. Nice drawing of Len. Yeah, I think I scanned a good drawing of Len, and yeah, I digitally traced it. A nice showdown of these characters. Len's mouth chart. Happy and sad. Another showdown of the characters. This is here's the thing I missed. Him front view. If you see Len throughout the whole cartoon, he's side view. He's not front view. I never got to animate him or draw him in front view. I mean, this is drawn in front view, but it was never rigged as a puppet. So you only see him 3/4 view the whole time in the cartoon. It worked though. You okay? You cook? Alrighty. So, another concept art poster for the characters and the tour. Still cinematic tour. Yeah, I thought, oh, a chainsaw arm. That'd be funny. A buzzsaw arm. And a knife arm. That'd be cute. Some claws on that one. Yeah, they're getting more refined. This still needed a lot of work. Yeah, I thought it'd be a lot more flat here. Yeah. Again with the props room. Boom. 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 Okay. Here we go. Now during the ride, I still wanted to have a look and feel of a studio, production studio, movie studio. And movie studios would have not only props hanging around, but also posters of their previous work. So while I was animating, especially the part where he goes through these rooms, because that was all done digitally in Toon Boom. The part where he goes through these hallways, corridors, you would see movie posters. So I was like, Homeless Man the movie, and by the looks of it, I think I digitally traced them, or maybe I scanned them in. I think it was one of both. Depends. When you see it, you might know. Happy dog. Angry cat. Attack of the boogers. Epic turtle. Evil bean. Yeah, this was scanned in. Another look of the practical effects room. Vlogger the movie. Yeah, that's a nice drawing. Yeah. Our founder, Mark Maxable. Because it's Maxable Studios, so that'd be funny. If that's put the founder, because the golden age of Hollywood and early Hollywood studios would have, the name of the person that started it, and they would have the namesake kind of. I made a mistake with this one, but yeah. Again, I was still thinking about cinematic tour. There we go. Cinema Tour, the official name change, December 11th, 2018. Another drawing of that practical effects room. Because I like the joke where he hides in the practical effects room, but guess what? It's dusty. Wink, wink. Again, here we go. Brr. Oh, hold on. Brr. 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 Now, like I said, I wanted also the way to put in the artwork in the cartoon differently, in different ways. Like the posters, some of them were digitally drawn in, and some of them were drawn on paper, inked, scanned, put into Toon Boom. And even the walls. Some of the walls are simple gradient walls, and some of them were scans of this, where I just made this out of colored pencils, scan it in as an image file into Toon Boom. I even had to take this to Photoshop and change the perspective. It's one of the hallways. I think it's the one that like zooms into the exit. So that was what I was going for in this part. Same thing with this one. That could be the floor. I don't remember. Yeah, that one's very light. It should be light, literally. This is a point of view for the climax, that prop room. Another angle and perspective concept of the prop room, because I want it to be just one big giant square. The gun that I was going to make. Another showdown of the characters. And this is like the design of the prop room, but four sides. One side, the other side, if I took all four sides and flattened them out and just set them up. One jokingly would be a bear. Another POV concept of the shot. Brr. One movie ticket. Hall of Awards. Yeah, this is the part where we're getting to the end of the video of the cartoon. Yeah, I was trying to draw like a stinky poopy award. Shuffle of it. Your tour awaits. Yeah, I'm trying to end where it started. There would be safety rules when you enter through an attraction, especially in the queue, obviously. Safety rules. At that point, I was done with production, but again, especially with this kind of sketchbook, I still had some pages left. So after that, I just drew. I just drew like more artwork. Yes, I did have to do Cinema Tour. Finally, Cinema Tour, and this was the title that was put into Toon Boom, into the final part of the cartoon. I like these concept sketches. They're very rough, but I like drawing rough. Me mapping this out. I think when I was done with the cartoon, I did try to map this out. Map out the final part of the cartoon, like what direction it was going in the video. And it wasn't realistic at all. When I was done each page and just mapping it out page by page and scene by scene and shot by shot, when I was trying to put all those pages together digitally, it wouldn't work. It wasn't realistic. Like that, if you try to put that in real life, the directions that cinema tour was going, it would not be in one building. Realistically. I mean, yeah, you could cheat, maybe elevate, because it looked like there was a part where it needed to be in a second floor, and maybe when it does a move, you can have a hidden elevator for the vehicle to take it to the next floor. If some of you guys know what I'm talking about, if you're a theme park fan or know about engineering or attractions, but I know what I'm talking about when I just said that. Kinda. Yeah, that's based on a certain theme park attraction poster that I'd really like, that of a attraction that doesn't exist anymore. But some of you know what it is. It kind of looks like, kinda. And there's the final design of the alien. Yeah, I think I end up finalizing the design by the time I was building it. So imagine you're sitting here and you're waiting for the tour guide to come in. Yeah, what would look like here? And yeah, it looks nice. Now showing Cinema Tour. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, that interaction. Cinema Tour. Ready for the experience to tour? Okay, let me try that again. Cinema Tour. Ready to experience the tour? Maxable Studios. That was a good one. Oh yeah, all of them dead. Kinda. Thank you for visiting. Hooray for movies! And that's it for that artwork. Now, I would be done, but I do have one more thing to show you. That's also Cinema Tour related, and you know what I'm talking about. It's these babies! The three-dimensional props and characters from Cinema Tour. Like I said, I wanted to be two forms of animation interacting: keyframe puppet animation and stop-motion animation. So, yeah, let me start off with these three characters. So, yeah, you've seen the drawings and you see how they're finalized. You know, they were helpful reference in understanding what I want, but, you know, they wouldn't be really finalized until I actually work on them and took whatever materials that I've bought over the years and saved and just put it to work. Now let me go with the first one. This like shark looking thing, you know, this is most of it's foam. This is a wire that already had like a rubber covering to it, little fastener hands, there's felt inside the mouth. The eyes, I got ping pong balls from a dollar store. They're not good ping pong balls, but what I found out is that I could cut into them in half and then glue them on, and yeah, I was like, oh, this is nice, and it came out really well. So yeah, the eyes are ping pong balls and put together with a lot of hot glue. But it came out well. I think this is like the best well-built one out of the three, but each of them have their own charm to it. You know, I didn't work with paint at all. All of it, like any like drawing to it it's just marker. All right, I want to get to this one. This dinosaur looking thing. Now this also foam. This is actually matte, foam matte board that I just drew and cut out. But yeah, they all look sloppy and they all look grisly, and it's for obvious reason. I put these three together all three of them in less than a week. Yes, they were put together within a matter of days. All three of them in a week. Less than that. Yep, with I already had the materials, tons of it, and I just put them to work. But, you know, I didn't have that much timing and whatever resource I have and timing, I just did it. I love how the middle, obviously, it's like the most solid part. And even then, the jaws are like this. Also, the eyes of the ping pong ball, too. Yeah, I got some use out of those ping pong balls with crafting. Foam here. Hot glue, the same wires with rubber on them. I had to re-glue these a couple times because they were falling off because of the texture. But I use these cheap glue sticks for the glue gun. A lot of glue gun work here. And it came out really well. Yeah, this animated really well. The thing that didn't animate are the legs. These are very flimsy legs. That was a mistake. Everything else was solid, like the jaw, torso. Even the arms are kind of, no, not that solid. These were flimsy, but yeah, arms and legs were the flimsiest, especially the legs. And these had to walk, kind of, but I ended up getting around that, even though it never walked properly. This character never stood up well. You know, I had to display it like here. I had to put tape under here. I didn't want to, yeah, just only like some shots of tape. And when they all attacked together, they were not made to walk well, especially this. And this is just a flipper. And even this is just flippers, so all of them were just like rush dragged in. If you can see the climax when they were all united and you see them far away. But I like this. Yeah, they still work. They're bendable. And they didn't need that much articulation because they were supposed to be shoddy and old and worn out and cheap because they were those kinds of props that they were based on the movies. So yeah, this one, there we go, for final design of the alien. Yeah, this one's surprisingly sturdy, but I kept the design simple. It's shaped like a weird 8, a bowling pin, even a penguin kind of. And this eye, it's a clown nose. It's a clown nose that I cut in half and just glued on. And I was like, oh, get a marker and just the color of the eye. But the tentacles had the most work. Oh, little suctions fell out, darn it. But yeah, the arms had the most work, and even the torso and these things. But the mouth was like really flimsy. I was like, oh, let me just cut a mouth on and just tape it and put it on. It kept falling out when you saw it for the first time. It looked like it was falling off in a couple of shots. But yeah, this was like one of the sturdiest ones. This is the most sturdy. It could stand up properly. But yeah. Now, one final thing is the little props that came with it. All right. So the cartoon and the whole ride experience would be, it would start off moving digitally through Toon Boom, the perspective, and the hallways. But whenever it would make a stop, it would stop with using stop motion animation. And there were even some shots where it would be both stop motion and Toon Boom at the same time. You can tell a couple of shots. And the climax, that camera movement was all stop motion. I had, the phone set to a special rig to take pictures and a special rig on wheels that I've mentioned earlier about the 2 cars on foam board and all that stuff into this one little room. And I was just like taking a picture, moving it slightly, and taking a picture, moving slightly. That was the only time where the camera move came from the camera stop motion wise. Well, everything else was moving digitally through Toon Boom. So yeah. And I just want to quickly show you these little props. Yeah, since it was storage, I was like, okay, poster paper and some boxes. And this one's interesting. This is the sign, and the floor was crackling. I even saved a piece of the floor because it was foam board, marker, coloring the floor. And I didn't use like an X-Acto knife while animating, cutting it. But I think I had gloves on to protect myself because I was doing this all very quickly. Water. This is part of the practical effects. I'll look the gun to kill these things. Pew, pew, pew. Brick. Pieces of the shelf. Oh yeah, when the floor broke, when I did that scene where the floor was breaking, I didn't want to throw everything away. So, the pieces that were very broken I threw away, but any extra solid pieces I reused later for the shelf and certain other props. So, what was it? This is from the Sergio show for Have an Animated Day. That's a pen. That's not from Cinema Tour. But yeah, like this and this. The prop room had very simple to make props. Like this bear and this buzzsaw and this mallet. Yeah, the props were too simple, like foam boards. Foam boards colored in, glued. And some stars from that space thing. Space setting. Phone. Oh yeah, that's also from the show. This is also from the show. They got into this bag of Cinema Tour props. Water, you're waiting for. This weapon also. Yep. And that's about it. The real-life 3-dimensional art props of Cinema Tour. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this art look through of my Sergio Studios cartoon, Cinema Tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, this needed its own video because it was such a special cartoon with a lot of artwork and concept and development, and obviously three-dimensional artwork that I'm happy to show you. And I had a good time showing this to you. It was fun to really give you an even closer look at all this work that it took to make a cartoon this special that I know a lot of people like Cinema Tour. I love it. It's one of my favorites to work on that isn't the Sergio show related. And I'm proud of it and love the artwork, and I hope you did too. It was fun. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on my social media, and thank you again. I am Sergio Dominguez saying have an animated day.